welcome to the Labyrinth today. Thank you for joining me. I hope the week has been kind to you. I hope that you have been privileged to have abundance of blessings shine down and rain upon you. Whatever the best is. And I hope that whatever content that I'm putting up this week has been beneficial to you, or at least helped in some way. Because of course that's the aim of the channel. I might not have mentioned recently, those people that have been around for a little while will know though that I really would like to see the channel become a form of community and connection, where people can connect with each other. I will eventually, I promise I'm going to try and get into doing the live so that connection between people can be improved upon. But anyway, we'll see what happens. That's my aim anyway, because I'm really interested for people to find those support networks for themselves. While I think about it, I am going to at some point in time talk about crystals and metaphysical type products. So if you have got a channel where you talk about these types of things as well, could you please put a link up and I'll pop over to your channel. I'll have a look and see what you might be selling or what you might be offering. I'm not going to say that I'll endorse every channel, but I would like to actually find where there is some quality suppliers of these types of products so that I can actually point people in the right direction, I guess. That's the plan down the track. And certainly when it comes to buying things like crystals and stuff like that, there's a lot of false product out there, which is a bit concerning to me. I just thought of something actually, rather than just turning around and limiting my invitation to, if you've got a channel that sells the product and, why don't you let me know? I should actually expand that out too. I think it would be a good idea for the sake of the viewers on the channel here as well and the new subscribers, which I want to say thank you very much for subscribing and being part of the channel. If you actually know personally of a good provider, a quality provider of, say, specific metaphysical products, then please feel free to put that kind of content or comments up on the wall so that people know where to go. I think it would be helpful, though, if you were able to say, because in my experience, when you've got wholesalers and online retailers, there's always going to be risk involved. You want to know that the person that is your source, that they actually have the expertise to tell a fake from the real deal. So yeah, please just put very clearly what your knowledge in regard to a supplier that you're referring to. Just be really clear what perhaps you've seen of theirs, the product. If you buy Tiger Eye, it was a really good piece of Tiger Eye, for example, stuff like that. Or you have a friend that bought a really good piece of Tiger Eye from this place. Don't do blanket statements. Just be really specific, just for the sake of our subscribers and viewers. Speaking of the subscribers, I want to just come back again and say, look, thank you very much for being part of this journey. I'd like to make a particular shout out to Lana today. I'm not going to use your whole name, Lana. I think you know who you are. You're probably the only person that actually comments on the channel at the moment. But I just want to acknowledge that she has been so committed to the channel, I guess is a good word, committed to her own development. And so she's been there for a while. So if we ever get to the point of being able to give out stickers for top followers, Lana's got to be it, okay? So moving on, what have we got happening on the channel today? Oh, Lana, just for the sake of it, thank you, my friend. Thank you. For some reason, this week I decided as part of general chitter chatter to just make reference to animal symbolism. And for some reason, I say, but I know exactly where it's motivated from. It's because I've got that massive tree that I've spoken about to people before on the channel. I've got it out the front, and obviously it impedes me being able to get decent internet connection. But either way, where I'm going with this is it's actually quite a blessing. I have the most amazing wildlife fly in and around the garden and into this great big tree. And so I thought, well, you know what? I actually pay attention to what birds come into the yard or what animals are there or insects and that kind of thing, because I am a believer that they come with a message. They've got animal symbolism or medicine attached to them. And this week I have had in the Western Rosella. Now, I've got to mention that, you know, for copyright reasons, where I've got these images from, the Western Rosella is just a beautiful bird, absolutely gorgeous, and they can be very loud. And they love the sweet food, actually, because I've got a grapevine out in the backyard, so they like to come in and eat the grapes as well. In fact, I never get any of the grapes because they've generally cleaned them out, them and another bird called a silver eye. But either way, the animal symbolism for the Rosella is one that is basically letting us know, or if they fly in, apparently the gift that they bring with them is letting us know that we're entering a cycle of love and passion, and that involves healing and nurturing of the most important aspects within us. Now, of course, I don't talk about my stuff online, but that actually does resonate with me. That seems to be a very timely and appropriate message. And then the other visitor that I've had is the kookaburra. So I've put up the link there where I've got that from, because that was one of the best photos that I managed to find, and I think it's somebody that's studying kookaburras, so I'm not really able to give a proper photo credit there, so I've just put the link up. Anyway, the wisdom of the kookaburra is that it's a very powerful healing energy, and it can indicate a time of profound healing that's not just happening to you, well, me, obviously in this instance, because I'm the one having them visit, but also to the people that are around me. And it speaks of the ripple effect of positivity, that as each of us heal, that healing transfers over to people, and it speaks positively of changes that are coming into the energy field right now. So that's always a wonderful thing to know. So the question for me would be, do you get into animal symbolism yourself, or animal medicine? And do you find that your heart and soul is warmed when you get these little visitors come in? Who are your regular visitors? Let me know. We can expand upon that. I love being outdoors and seeing nature at its best, and this is the blessing of where I live, is I can sit on my front veranda and watch the birds. But anyway, moving on. So we do have some content coming soon that is going to be new and different. I'm going to keep mum about it, not say anything at all at this point in time. And this is largely because I think I've said before that when something goes up, once it's up, then other people will grab a hold of it. They're not necessarily ethical either. I don't know what parts of the world they're living in, but they grab hold of an idea and then they sort of start smashing the YouTube algorithms and that kind of stuff. And I actually like for my content, as far as possible, to be very unique and very original with new approaches. And that's one of the reasons why we do the creative element as well. But anyway, I do have some stuff coming soon. I envisage it will probably be another 2 or 3 weeks before we see this new content coming up. Part of it's designed to replace the fact that universal laws are going, but we'll talk about that in a little while. But if you want to stay tuned with that, just click the bell to get notified, and that way you'll see it when it comes up. So I am making some progress too in regard to this clinical-based, evidence-based stuff, which gives me a massive headache just focusing on it. I'm so looking forward to be finished it, because this is the stuff that just becomes a bit of a brain drain for me, because it's stuff obviously that is involving study and making sure that I comply with standards and all of this kind of thing. But anyway, where we're at with this is Unhelpful Thinking Styles Part 3 has gone up. There is a Part 4 and a Part 5, and then I think once I've completed this one, I'm going to shift away from any of the clinical and evidence-based stuff, because I'm a little bit done with it. That doesn't mean to say that I'm not going to come back to the clinical stuff at some point in the future, but I'm going to give us all a rest from it for now. As always, a reminder on the chakra content that we've currently got up to help people push past any barriers and obstacles that are blocking them energetically. I am working on some new chakra healing content that will be loaded in the not too distant future because, of course, it's different strokes for different folks, and what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the next one. So that's the motivation there, to try and throw more strategy out there for people to grab a hold of. As always, just a reminder, the numerology content that I've loaded on the numerology playlist is basically the equivalent of accessing a workshop. You know, it's quite extensive, and I realise that, but I also put timestamps onto each of the videos to make it easier for people to find the content that's relevant to them, so people can just shift through it as it suits them. We are progressing fairly well. At the same time, when I started this process of giving information, I didn't realise, I can honestly say I had no idea how big a thing it was that I was going to do, how time consuming it would be. But as I say, it is the equivalent of a workshop. You get a lot of information through this, and by the time I've completed delivering it, there will also be a lot more. We're going okay. The birth chart content is going up, which is the numbers on the birth chart. Now, I had thought that I might be able to put them into 1 or 2 videos, but it turns out I basically, because of the duration of these videos, I actually need to deliver them basically a number for each particular birth chart and focus on that. So anyway, we're progressing well with that. Although you're not seeing them yet, I have done up to number 9. From there, I'm going to put the content of the arrows on the birth chart, and hopefully I'll be able to reduce that down to maybe 2 videos, 3 at the most, when we're looking at the arrows. And once I've got that out of the way, yay, then we'll have a look at peak pyramids. I'm not sure that I'm going to put up the instructions on how to calculate karma, probably because it's quite complex to do the calculations for it. And yeah, bottom line is it might not be a good thing to put up on the wall here, but we'll see what happens when we get to it. I should have actually said, if there is a public figure that you're interested in taking a look at their birth chart and that content's in the public domain, let me know, and I'll do a perhaps dedicated video on a specific person, just for interest's sake with the numerology. But in the meantime, looking at universal laws, oh my golly gosh, that was another one that I didn't realise was going to be as big or as time consuming as it's actually been. But suffice to say, we're almost done with this series, and I'm saying thank God, because it's been a real battle for me at different times. The last one will be loaded on March 14. And after that, I'm not going to deliver daily videos. The only reason I did it as a daily video was because there was 105 of them. And I thought, you know, if I was to load one of these a week, really, God, that would take us 2.5 years just about to get the content up there. So I figured the best way to do it, or to approach it, was as a daily video. And that, of course, has taken a few months to deliver as opposed to a couple of years. So anyway, we're coming to the close of that. I found it a bit arduous myself. I don't know about you. Feel free to make a comment about that as well if you found it a bit hard work. While I do have numbers on my own chart reflecting mind plane and intellectual stuff, and I definitely do enjoy intellectual stimulation as well, realistically, where I get my greater joy is actually through content that refers to emotional health and well-being and spiritual health, and drawing upon colour healing strategies and all of that kind of thing. So anyway, in summary, this one's almost done. We can all do a big cheer. So where I find doing the clinical type content and the universal law content to be a bit of a drain or draw, things like the angels, this type of content, creating this content, is actually something I take great pleasure in. I don't know, it warms the cockles of my heart, shall we say. So anyway, bringing you up to speed with that, last week we loaded content on Archangel Gabriel. This week I hope that you will have seen that I've loaded content on Archangel Raphael, who's a healing angel. We'll speak about him in a little bit. After I've loaded Archangel Zadkiel, because he's the next one after Raphael that I'll be looking at, how about, I would appreciate, because I like to focus the direction of the channel, that's always been my aim, at accommodating needs of the viewers. If there is a specific angel, and I would just encourage you to have a look at the hierarchy slides and see if there's an area that you might want to be healing yourself on, or you feel that you could do with a bit of extra energetic support or whatever, that you have a look and write down the name of one of the angels, and I will try and fast track that one. So, for example, if people are really struggling to release fears, they might want to take a look at the hierarchy and see if there's an angel who is tasked to sustaining faith, perhaps through a crisis. If some people feel that they've been kicked in the stomach a few too many times by life challenges, and of course it does happen, or they may have been victimised, or they might be seeking some respite from life's challenges, so that they can take a breath and regroup and get on with the rest of their life, then just a suggestion, you might be interested in exploring Archangel, what's his name, Raphael, who is the angel of mercy, and I would fast track that content. These are just examples. Other times where I've seen people have a preference, it's actually to help heal emotions around grief and loss. Other times people might be wanting support to heal and overcome addiction or grief. I said grief, didn't I? Oh, for people that are passing, for ease of transition. You know, if you put a comment up on some of your areas that you might want to work on or whatever, as I say, I will specifically upload the content that relates to that query. Okay, so just let me know. So as I said before, this week you will have seen the content on Archangel Raphael go up, and most people will associate Archangel Raphael with healing, whether it's physical healing, healing of illness, and the other thing he is most recognized for, but I think we need to be clear that because people know his energy to be associated with these functions, these are the ones most people know him by, but he is more than this. And most people will try and access Archangel Raphael's energy as a part of fast tracking their psychic development, which that's actually discouraged. And I would recommend that people watch the video, because when it comes to the psychic development, this is where I get my ideas from. That well, not just from lived experience and watching people trying to fast track it and finding themselves in all sorts of difficult situations, but the wisdom of Archangel Raphael is one that includes working on the entire chakra system and letting the psychic gifts unfold naturally in an unforced way. But yes, you can find the video on the Angels playlist. For the time being, I'm going to continue doing the art reels or the art shorts. I can honestly say I'm not sure for how much longer though, because there doesn't seem to be a great deal of interest in it, you know, from what I can see. But either way, at the moment I've loaded this week another video on fairies, because I'm getting back into the fairy artwork. Feel free, I really would appreciate actually if you could tell me what type of artwork you prefer, what sort of resonates with you, you know, are there favourites on these reels? Let me know, point it out, because I'm kind of brainstorming a new project of creativity, and as part of that it's important to know what people like and what they don't like. So with the styles of what I'm doing, in regard to the quotes, do you have a preference? I've got some ideas of stuff that I'm putting up in, you know, the next couple of weeks, so I'm working on those as well, trying to get ahead of everything for you so that the content goes up regularly without hiccups and glitches. Yeah, if you have a preference for a type of quote or God, what do we call them? Old wisdom folk or whatever, let me know, and I'm happy to accommodate. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to see a little bit of, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Thick Nut Han, whatever if that's how you pronounce it. He's got some beautiful quotes, so I'm going to be putting up some of those. But if there's somebody especially whose quotes you would like to see, let me know, and I'm happy to accommodate there as well. So, my friends, that's it for this week. That's about all the information I've got to hand over to you. Just a reminder, I do invite you to share information in the comments below, especially when it relates to product, metaphysical, if I can speak, metaphysical type product, just to help people know where they can go to a reputed person to access services. And if you have your channel, if it's you that's putting up your channel, I will take a look at it, because I obviously am always interested in finding a good and reputable supplier. But anyway, for now, I'm just going to say thank you again for being part of my journey. It's been a pleasure. I wish you a wonderful day, a blessed week ahead, and I will catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.